Diane's daughter got engaged. It was the moment Diane had imagined for years. Her daughter called, crying happy tears, barely able to get the words out. Diane said everything right. She congratulated her. She was thrilled and she wanted to know all about the proposal. But inside, she didn't feel anything. Not joy, not tears, not even the flutter of excitement that she expected to feel. She hung up the phone and sat in a quiet that actually scared her more than any hot flash ever had. She wasn't angry, she wasn't sad, she just felt nothing. And she couldn't tell anyone because how do you explain to your daughter that the best news of her life landed somewhere inside you that just went silent? Well, Diane wasn't becoming cold. She wasn't losing her love for her family either. She was experiencing a symptom of perimenopause and menopause called emotional numbness. And this is symptom number 72 in the book that I wrote on decoding the 80 symptoms and side effects of menopause. I'm Tafiq Akhir, Mr. Menopause, certified menopause educator and healthy aging expert, author, speaker, and your host of the Menopause Made Simple show. If you can relate to what Diane was experiencing, well, here's what's actually happening. See, estrogen influences the neurotransmitters that regulate emotional experience, specifically serotonin and dopamine. Now, these are the chemicals that your brain uses to process feelings, to connect an event to an emotional response, to generate joy, grief, excitement, love. But for some women, when estrogen declines, serotonin and dopamine can decrease with it. When that happens, your capacity to feel emotions fully can diminish. You're not choosing not to feel, your brain chemistry has changed. And there's more than one pathway to this, by the way. See, emotional numbness can also be a symptom of depression, which becomes significantly more common during the menopause transition. Sometimes it's a protective response when the woman has been overwhelmed by the emotional volatility that menopause can bring. Well, her nervous system can swing to the opposite extreme and shut down feeling entirely just to take a break. And severe ongoing fatigue can create emotional flatness on its own because a depleted system doesn't have the resources to generate emotional response. So, what you're dealing with might be hormonal, it might be depression, it might be exhaustion, or it might be a combination of all three. But what it is not, it's not who you're becoming. The capacity to feel is still there, it's just temporarily inaccessible. Now, this symptom is particularly hard to talk about for many women because numbness is invisible and it doesn't look like suffering from the outside. You show up, you say the right things, you go through the motions of relationships, your work, your life, and nobody around you knows that you're not actually feeling any of it. You watch yourself participate in moments that should matter and wonder why nothing is landing. A grandchild's laugh, a song you've always loved, a hug from someone you care about deeply. You know the love is there, you just can't access the love right now. And the guilt that comes with that, well, that's its own way. Many women carry shame around emotional numbness because it feels like a character flaw, like you've stopped caring, like something in you has gone wrong on a fundamental level. At work, it can look like disconnection. You're present, but not engaged. You meet deadlines, but feel nothing about the outcome. Creative drive, motivation, investment in what you're doing, well, it may all feel distant. And because you can still function, nobody around you realizes anything is different. You manage it quietly, and managing it quietly takes more out of you than anyone sees. In relationships, it can be the most frightening place this symptom lives because when you can't feel connected to the people you love most, well, isolation can grow even when you're surrounded by them. But you don't have to quietly suffer through this. There are things that you can actually do. The first is to screen for depression. Emotional numbness is a hallmark symptom of depression, and this is not the place to assume that it's just menopause and just move on. So when you go in, be sure to answer depression screening questions honestly. If you meet the criteria, treatment addresses both depression and the numbness. So don't skip this step. Also important to note is that if you already suffer from some level of depression, menopause can and most likely will intensify your depression. So again, don't skip this step. The second is to engage in activities that used to bring you feeling, even when you don't feel like it, and even when you feel nothing while you're doing it. Movement, music, time in nature, connection with people you love. Action can precede emotion. You don't have to wait until you feel motivated to do things that create feeling. Sometimes the feeling comes back through doing, not waiting. And the third is to practice reconnecting with your own body. Emotional numbness often comes with disconnection from physical sensations too. Body scan techniques, gentle movement, or intentional deep breathing, well, they all reconnect with what your body is physically experiencing, which can help restore access to what you're emotionally experiencing. The two are more linked than most people realize. Now, beyond those three, there are other things worth knowing. Sleep matters more here than most women expect. Exhaustion is one of the fastest routes to emotional flatness, and when sleep is already disrupted by night sweats or insomnia, that numbness just compounds. Protecting your sleep is not optional during this time of a woman's life. It truly should be of highest priority. Morning sunlight is a very simple yet underutilized tool as well. It regulates the mood neurotransmitters that declining estrogen is already affecting. It doesn't fix everything, but it's a daily nudge to a system that needs support. Alcohol is worth taking a hard look at as well because it's a depressant and it suppresses emotional experiences even further. So, if numbness is significant, alcohol is likely making it worse, even if it temporarily feels like relief. Now, on the medical side, thyroid function is worth checking because hypothyroidism causes emotional blunting and is more common in women during midlife. Hormone therapy is worth discussing if numbness appears to be clearly hormonal in origin, and if depression is present, antidepressants can be genuinely effective. This is not the time to push through without support. Now, you want to bring this to your healthcare provider if the numbness is persistent or getting worse. If you feel detached from people you love, if you're unable to access joy, sadness, or any emotional response consistently. Also, if it's affecting your relationships, your ability to function at work, and especially if the numbness is showing up alongside other symptoms of depression like hopelessness or changes in appetite or withdrawal from things that you used to care about. See, emotional numbness during menopause requires evaluation. It doesn't just need to be waited out. For over 16 years, I worked with women just like you, and a handful of them did experience emotional numbness. And as I told them, I want to share with you. You are not cold hearted. You are not broken. You have not stopped loving the people in your life either. Your brain chemistry is changing and it's changing in ways that makes emotional experiences harder to access right now. That's a biological reality, not a reflection of who you are as a woman, a mother, a partner, a friend, employee. Now, there are ways to successfully manage emotional numbness during all stages of menopause. And what I shared today can make a tremendous difference if you apply what you learn and commit to using the resources around you. And in this next video, here's another resource that every woman should know and use in order to get proper care from your healthcare provider.